two.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome once again to our weekly media briefing and public health update with Montgomery County Executive Marc Elrich. I'm Lorna Virgil, Hispanic Public Information Officer, and joining us today is Dr. Nina Ashmer, Chief of Public Health Services, Dr. James Bridgers, Director of the Department of Health and Human Services, as well as Mr. Sean O'Donnell, Chief of Public Health Services, Deputy Chief. And today we have two special guests, MCPD Chief Marcus Jones, as well as incoming Chief Marc Yamada. Welcome, everybody. Mr. County Executive, good morning.
Good morning. And gosh, it's only 80 degrees out right now, so that's not too bad. I want to thank everybody for being here again today. And this is a week of transition in the MCPD leadership. Chief Marcus Jones departs the department after nearly 4 decades of service, and recently confirmed Chief Marc Yamada begins as our new chief on July 1st. I want to thank Chief Marcus Jones for his dedicated service and leadership as chief of the Montgomery County Police Department. Chief Jones has guided our department through numerous challenges such as COVID, the protests following the murder of George Floyd, the shooting at Magruder High School, while facing challenges in police staffing and recruitment, challenges that are bedeviling police departments all across the country. Under Chief Jones' leadership, MCPD has made significant strides in building trust with our community, improving public safety, and implementing important reforms. His tenure has seen an improvement in transparency and accountability that set a strong foundation for the department's future. And Chief Jones' career has been marked by his dedication to fostering a police force that is not only effective, but also compassionate and responsive to the needs of our diverse community. As we look forward to the next chapter for MCPD, I'm pleased to welcome and congratulate Marc Yamada on being confirmed as next police chief of Montgomery County Police Department. Chief Yamada, an internal candidate with a distinguished career within MCPD, brings a wealth of experience and a deep understanding of our community and its needs. His background, dedication, and vision make him the right person to lead the department at this critical time. Chief Yamada's appointment is a testimony of the strength and depth of leadership in the department, and his commitment to public safety, community engagement, and departmental integrity aligns with our shared vision for the future of policing in Montgomery County. I'm confident that under his leadership, MCPD will continue to advance in its mission to protect and serve all residents with fairness, transparency, and respect. And the continuity provided by promoting an internal candidate to the position of chief, I think, is vital for the department's ongoing success. Chief Yamada's familiarity with the department's operations, culture, and personnel will ensure a seamless transition. This continuity is crucial as it allows for the ongoing initiatives and reforms that have been set in motion to continue to progress without interruption. There are few departments in the country that have managed the transitions that we're undertaking, and I thought it was important to have leadership that understands what we are trying to do here. I did look around the country, and there's just a lot of places have not done the work that we're doing in Montgomery County, and I think it's hard to find people with the kind of background from the kind of departments that have done this kind of work that would have been suitable candidates. The seamless transition within the department reflects the department's internal strength and a collaborative effort between our community, police department, and the county council. I want to thank the County Council for its vote to confirm Chief Yamada. As Chief Yamada steps into his new role, I look forward to working closely with him to address the critical issues facing our community, including recruitment of new officers, enhancing public safety strategies, and continuing to build trust between MCPD and the residents of Montgomery County. Thank you, Chief Jones, for your exemplary service, and congratulations, Chief Yamada, on your well-deserved appointment. And we're fortunate to have such dedicated leaders in our police department. I'll turn it over to Chief Jones and Chief Yamada to say a few words about this transition in leadership, and then we'll take your questions. So turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive, and good morning to all. First and foremost, I do want to thank the County Executive for appointing me to this position and for all of his support over the past 5 years. We have had significant challenges in the police department, and I believe we have met those challenges. And I I know there's more work to be done, and I'm very confident and I'm very happy for Chief Marc Yamada. I think Chief Yamada is going to do an outstanding job carrying the torch. One of my main objectives when I began this quest as the Chief of Police for Montgomery County was to leave it better than I found it. And I believe that many things that we set out again were accomplished. And we went again, in some cases, above and beyond. We have a great community here in Montgomery County. I'm very pleased to see where we are with our crime levels and addressing crime and other public safety issues that really go to the quality of life here in Montgomery County. And again, public safety will always be an important aspect of government. And our police department plays a significant role with many of our partners across not only county government, but the community. And I've been so thankful. So I have been very grateful to have served this community for 38 years. It has been an honor and a privilege. Again, I plan to still be here. So we look forward to much success under, again, Chief Yamada's reign. But I want to thank again the county executive and his team for all of the support they've given me over the past 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Jones. Thank you, County Executive Elrich. Thank you to your team, Chief Jones, the County Council, the community, and the department for having the confidence in me to take this department forward. I am humbled and very appreciative of the opportunity to lead public safety efforts here in Montgomery County. It's the county that I grew up in. It's the county that I raised my family in. It's the county that I continue to live in and adore. The communities are absolutely phenomenal, and I look forward to the challenges that lie ahead in taking this department to the next steps, the next levels of success. I'm very thankful for the situation that I'm left with here. Chief Jones, Chief Major, and the other 4 chiefs that I have had the opportunity to work with have placed us in a very positive situation moving forward, and allows me the best opportunity to succeed. So thank you all once again, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you to the retiring and the incoming chiefs. Members of the media, any questions for them at this time, please raise your hand and we'll take questions for the chiefs. Let's see. Talia Varelas, Univision DC. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for taking my question. I would just like to know what has been some of the challenges that you have faced, Mr. Marcus Jones, and what are going to be some of the new challenges or the challenges that the new chief is going to have to take in the police department?
Thank you for the question. I think, some of the challenges that we faced was, again, some growing crime issues that occurred over the past few years as related to carjackings. We had significant challenges as it related to events such as the large car meetups that occurred. COVID brought a lot of change in our society. And we had to adapt to such said change. It also brought some challenges for us within the police department, as it did for everyone in our society. So those are significant challenges. We also saw clearly a spike in juvenile crimes and offenses that brought some unique challenges for us to have to deal with. And again, we've dealt with things such as staffing, right? That's been a major issue that we've had to adapt and change to as well, and overcome. And I think we've done a really good job of trying to figure that out. One of the things I'm most proud of is we've been able to still be responsive to our community, respond to calls for service, particularly our 911 calls. Our response times have not changed. And we've utilized technology. We've gained the support of the county executive and the county council to enhance our technology capabilities that have helped us lead us to a safer community. But those staffing issues are not going to go away. I know Chief Yamada is well aware of that. That's something we've been addressing over the past several years, and it will have to continue to be addressed as we move forward. And I think there are some innovative ideas that are in the midst of happening that will lead to a better tomorrow for being able to close the gap in staffing. So those are significant issues that I think, again, that our department has been faced with, and we've been able to overcome.
Yeah, and to build on that, thank you for the question. Leading forward, I am going to inherit a lot of the problems that Chief Jones had mentioned, staffing being one of them. I'm going to continue to build on the pillars of a successful organization, such as, the people, the personnel, professional staff, our policies. How do we tweak those policies moving forward to adapt and provide the best services moving forward for our communities that we serve? Training, supervision and oversight, and then accountability and transparency. Those are all things that are going to be a focus of mine. As Chief Jones mentioned, juvenile crime, not only juveniles committing crimes, but juveniles who are victims of crimes have been on the rise recently. So that'll be a continued challenge, not just by the police department. We're going to look for other agencies within the county to partner with us on trying to explore options to have effective outcomes for our juveniles. HHS, DJS, MCPS, all told, we have to come together as a team to try to accomplish the most successful outcomes for our juveniles. And moving forward, we're still battling through traffic safety here in the county, especially with our vulnerable road users, our pedestrians, and our bicyclists. So that'll be another struggle that we will continue to fight. We're continuing to explore options in that realm to improve our traffic safety. We have a automated traffic enforcement program that's very effective right now. We're entered into a contract where we can expand that to include roadways where we didn't have cameras before, all that in an effort to change behavior. So those are some of the things that we're going to look at moving forward. That, and along with technology, as Chief Jones mentioned, our Drones as First Responder program has proven to be highly successful. We are looking to make adjustments to that based on community feedback, moving forward with some additional sites that hopefully will enhance the police coverage and response times and our overall effectiveness in other areas of the county outside of Wheaton and Silver Spring.
Thank you. Another question, Talia? Please unmute. You need to unmute, Talia.
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. Yes, you mentioned that juvenile crime is on the rise. Would you have any statistics of how high that is, or how much it has incremented maybe in comparison to the same date last year?
I don't have anything right off the top of my head available, but I can certainly share them at some point. If you want to email me, I'd be happy to get you whatever it is that you asked for.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Will do.
Thank you, Talia. Judith Hertz, the Greater Olney News. Good morning, Judith.
Good morning. Thank you. Assistant Chief Yamada, a question very specific to the Greater Olney area, where, of course, you are a rock star, as you know. What benefits has it been to have the substation, the police substation right there in the Olney community? I know in the years past, there have been substations in other communities, but they don't exist anymore, but Olney has that facility right there. How beneficial has that been to the police department?
It's been hugely beneficial, and thank you for bringing that up, Judith. I was the former district commander in the Wheaton district. I live in the Brookville-Olney area, and it is a huge plus for our officers. It cuts down on response times. It provides us with higher visibility The community is able to walk in and engage with the officers on site up there at the satellite station. It's a huge connecting point for us. It shows the commitment not only from the Almy community, but everyone in general who is in support of the police, and having them in their more closely knit into the community, more closely woven. It's a really good hub for activity, especially our engagement efforts. I couldn't tell you how appreciative we are that the community has given us such a tremendous amount of support centered around that, because that is the only satellite facility we have in the county right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Members of the media, any more questions for the retiring and or incoming chief? Any questions? No more questions? Okay, chiefs, you can remain on this call or you can depart if you have to. Mr. County Executive.
Thank you both for being here and doing this morning. As we speak of our, as we're speaking right now, our fire chief nominee, Corey Smedley, is before the county council conducting his public interview for the position. Since we nominated Corey last month, we've heard a lot of positive feedback. And I hope that, like Chief Yamada, he'll be quickly confirmed by the council. Starting July 1st, Montgomery County's minimum wage will increase, marking another step in our ongoing commitment to supporting working families. For large employers with 51 or more employees, minimum wage is going to rise to $17.15 per hour. Mid-sized employers, those with 11 to 50 employees, will see their minimum wage increase to $15.50, and small businesses with fewer than 10 employees will be at $15 this year. These increases come because minimum wage law I was proud to sponsor when I was on the council is indexed annually for inflation. And if the federal minimum wage had been indexed for inflation when it was amended 50 years ago, we wouldn't be in this mess today, and we wouldn't have large numbers of American workers working for absolutely substandard wages. The current minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. I shudder to think what a person earning $7.25 would be able to pay for an apartment in Montgomery County today. This increase represents our county's commitment to workers being paid fairly for their hard work. As the cost of living continues to rise, it is crucial that wages keep pace with inflation to help families cover their basic needs. New rates are adjusted to reflect the 2.8% change in the consumer price index for Washington, D.C., Arlington, and Alexandria. And it's going to provide workers with an extra $18 to $20 more for each 40 hours worked, which amounts to a little over $1,000 over the course of a year. It's not a lot of money. And as we know, many tenants are receiving very high rent increases right now, but it will help, but it's certainly not going to cover some of these exorbitant rent increases. The extra income can make a significant difference for many families, helping them to better meet their needs and improve their quality of life. When I advocated for these wage increases, there was a belief that no one working a full-time job should struggle to put a roof over their head, pay for food, or manage their transportation costs. These are fundamental necessities. Ensuring that our residents can afford them is one of the most important responsibilities of our government. The increase in the minimum wage is a crucial step toward achieving economic justice and fairness for all workers in our county. At the same time, I heard from others back then that raising the minimum wage would cause the sky to fall. The sky did not fall. It did not lead to massive business closures. It did not lead to downturns. We've actually done pretty well. And the truth is, by raising the minimum wage, we not only help individuals and families, we actually help our local economy. If you think about it, higher wages lead to increased spending on local businesses. If you're in lower income brackets, a slightly higher wage is not taking you on world cruises or buying art to hang in your living room. It's paying for food and clothing and basic necessities. All that spending supports economic growth and job creation. And when workers have more money in their pockets, they can afford to spend more on goods and services, benefiting everyone in the community. I remember when we used to give briefings on economic development, one of the things that always tell us, well, you just can't look at the worker salary coming into the county, you have to look at the multiplier effect. And I learned the multiplier effect was the benefits of the county of wages in terms of businesses in the county, in terms of where money is spent and what it means and how its effect gets multiplied far beyond the worker who gets the wage. And it's true when you're attracting companies here. It's also true when workers who live here get paid better. Their money has a multiplier effect in our community that helps offset some of the increase in costs. This increase is particularly important given the economic challenges many of our residents face. COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated financial difficulties for countless families, making it even more critical that we support our workforce. We have many families on the verge of eviction because their lost wages during COVID never got made up for, and they are struggling to make rent payments, and many are behind on rent. Many low-wage workers were on the front lines during the pandemic, providing essential services and keeping our community safe, while so many others making high salaries got to work from home. They deserve fair compensation for their contributions and sacrifice. And adjusting the minimum wage to inflation is particularly important. But I want to highlight one of the challenges lower wage workers are facing here. The county's minimum wage law allows rent increases equal to inflation, which is going to be about 3% this year. I think the minimum wage is going up 2.8%, so we'll call it 3. But if landlords take their fully allowable rent increases, the rent increases will be close to double what the wage increases will be, because the bill that passed allowed landlords to raise rents by inflation, which I thought was fair, and added 3% to that. And so lower wage workers are likely to be the ones most in need of wage increases. But with their wage going up 2.8%, they will be losing ground if landlords take the fully allowable rent increases. I think we ought to all be aware of how these things play out in the real world. I also want to acknowledge and appreciate Governor Westmore's effort to raise the state minimum wage to 15 that was enacted by the legislature. This was a critical and overdue step, especially considering the inaction of former Governor Larry Hogan on this issue. It's also essential to recognize the broader impact of a fairer minimum wage. Research consistently shows that higher wages lead to better health outcomes, improved educational performance for children, reduced reliance on public assistance programs. By ensuring that workers earn a living wage, we're investing in the long-term well-being and prosperity of our community. I want to extend my gratitude to all those who supported these efforts, from community advocates, unions, and to business leaders who actually recognize the importance of fair wages. And I can tell you from my experience, I have met more than one business leader who thought that raising the minimum wage was the right thing to do, and they understood what its benefits would be for them as an employer, as well as the benefit to the employee and the community. Over the past couple of days, we've been engaged in the Select USA Investment Summit. It's happening at National Harbor, represents a unique and valuable opportunity for Montgomery County's economic development efforts. Organized by the U.S. Department of Commerce, this conference brings together investors, business leaders, and economic development officials from around the world, fostering an environment where partnerships and investments can flourish. Montgomery County is a leader in innovation, technology, and biosciences. The Select USA Summit offers us a platform to showcase our strengths and attract new investments that will drive our economy forward. On recent visits to Korea, China, India, Vietnam, and Taiwan, all of them were aimed at building strong international relationships, and the connections that we established there are now ripe for further development at this summit. We continue to work with our partners to find opportunities to expand investment in the United States, create new companies in the United States, also provide opportunities for American companies to find markets in the countries we're visiting as well. I was particularly pleased to host officials from the city of Daejeon, Korea yesterday here in Montgomery County. Daejeon, known for its robust tech and research sectors, shares many commonalities with our county. We're also working to foster collaboration that will grow our economies. Over the weekend, I had the pleasure of attending Select USA functions that highlighted the vibrant tech ecosystem in Taiwan's TechRo business grouping showcased cutting-edge technologies and innovations that align well with the county's focus on advancing biotechnology, cybersecurity, and information tech. These interactions are crucial as we look to integrate global innovations into our local economy. And a lot of the countries we visit recognize America as the largest market that you can get into, particularly when you consider our buying power. And there's a lot of interest in getting into these markets for drug companies and medical device companies. Getting into the market means going through the FDA, and the FDA is here in Montgomery County. It's a real asset and a real attraction to companies that are looking at coming here. And we've had multiple inquiries about how to partner with our new Institute of Health Computing, not strictly for health issues, but also for the AI and for opportunities to expand the AI part of this into other fields beyond health. It was a pleasure to highlight the strengths of Montgomery County and Maryland as a prime locations for investment and business growth. Our strategic location, highly educated workforce, and supportive business environment makes Montgomery County an ideal place for companies looking to expand or relocate. I'd have to say that, we know how to us, the rents seem too high, and the cost of living here certainly seems high. But the competing places in the life sciences, the ones that are above us, have higher rents, higher commercial costs. And so their ability to find commercial space or for their employees to find reasonable rents or ownership is even more challenging than it is here in Montgomery County. So it's actually a plus for us to be situated where we are in this competition. But the attribute I consistently hear most about that's attractive in the county is actually the diversity of our residents. It makes a lot of difference to companies when they're thinking about locating. They want to know, well, how will the residents live and what's the quality of life for people who are used to living in another country. And the fact that we have such a diverse population that it's very easy to tell somebody who's from India or Vietnam or China or Taiwan or Korea that you'll find plenty of people here who share your culture, who share many of your traditions and share your same search for good restaurants. So all these things play to our advantages in Montgomery County, and it's one of the real benefits of the diversity this county has. I'm sure, like me, that you've heard the term heat dome numerous times over the past week. The factoid that struck me is there were more than 200 daily records for maximum high and low temperatures set each day, according to the Southeast Regional Climate Center. According to the Washington Post, Saturday was the hottest day in almost 8 years in our region. And you can see from this weather map, it was 99 degrees in Rockville. The recent heat wave gripping our region and much of the nation is a stark reminder of the urgent need for climate action. This is not just limited to our nation. We're not going to solve this problem in Montgomery County by ourselves. We're not going to solve this problem in the United States by ourselves. We need more and more people to take this seriously, because all of the indicators are pointing in the wrong direction. And we will likely see increasing storms and instability in weather patterns, and severity, which is really concerning, the increase in rainfall. I liken it to, we may find ourselves without more inches of rain, but if the inches of rain come in torrential downpours, the ability of ground to reabsorb that water is challenging. Most of the water winds up, runs through sewers down into creeks, causes damage to the creeks from large flows, and winds up in a river. It doesn't necessarily help us in terms of overall waterfall and preservation of crops in a good growing environment. So we have challenges. We're going to have more challenges. Heat is going to be a challenge. There are some places in the world where the heat has already climbed above 125 degrees. So probably more to come as the planet warms, and we have to do everything we can do to make sure that we minimize the extent to which the planet warms and reach a stable point where we can begin to turn things in the other direction. But we're not there yet, and we're not going to get there by ourselves. Unfortunately, too often coverage of these weather events far outweighs discussions and the decisions that are needed. So for all the things we need to do, people have to decide to do them. And, the federal government is and should be the major actor in this place. The first presidential debate is on Thursday. I will be really disappointed if this issue does not get the time and attention it deserves. People should know who is going to try to stand up and help us bend the curve that is really devastating so many communities around this country, and who's going to tell you it's just the natural world, don't worry about it. There's a lot to worry about. Unless our nation and our other nations take this seriously and coordinate our actions, we can expect this to continue and to get worse. The county's been proactive in its approach to climate change. We've committed to ambitious goals to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve energy efficiency, and transition to renewable energy sources. And our climate plan is one of the most comprehensive in the country. And we get a lot of positive comments on it from people around the country that we talk to. However, local action is not enough. And we know that we've got a lot more work to do. So as we continue to deal with these severe weather events, we're going to continue to press the point and encourage more coverage of what we all need to do to save the planet for future generations. And we will be continuing to provide more information to the residents of the county, what's out there. There are loan programs, there are grant programs that many people can take advantage of that would help you do things that would make your home environment better, that would reduce our carbon emissions. And under the President Biden's current programs, there's a lot of money out there that residents can and should take advantage of. Now, before I turn this over to our health team for updates, I want to take a moment to recognize the second anniversary of the Dobbs decision that occurred yesterday. It's one of the worst rulings in the history of the highest court of the land after people promised they were not going to overturn Roe v. Wade. And it's opened the door to crazy and draconian laws that limit a woman's right to choose and to have autonomy over their bodies. Over the last weekend, I was talking to Lynn McCall, Executive Director of the Baltimore Abortion Fund. The organization provides financial and logistical support to individuals who live in or travel to Maryland for abortion care. They were also one of the recipients of grant funding we provided to abortion providers in 2022 to assist with increased needs for protections. The 2022 Dobbs decision was a devastating blow to women's rights and reproductive freedom. It's more critical than ever to protect a woman's right to choose and to ensure safe and legal access to abortion services, but also family planning services. This is about a fundamental human right and the ability of women to make decisions about their own bodies and futures. I was looking for this really interesting cartoon I saw yesterday or the day before. It had one of the Supreme Court justices blaming something that they got in trouble for on their wife and saying, well, I can't control my wife, but apparently I can control other people's wives. And I think that's one of the most distressing things is having, a bunch of men on the Supreme Court making decisions for how women can control their bodies. It's a serious problem. We'll continue to fight against any efforts to undermine these rights and to ensure that all women have access to health care they need. Our commitment to justice and equality and personal autonomy is unwavering. And I'm going to turn this over now to my health team for their updates, and then we'll look forward to your questions. So health team, it's yours.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive. I will turn it over to Sean. I have no updates from the director's office, so I don't know if he or Dr. Ashford has anything for you. And it's still morning, so this morning.
Good morning. No updates from me. I will turn it to Sean.
Good morning. Just a reminder that we are experiencing a gentle rise in COVID transmissions in our county and across the nation. And again, to remind folks who are either at greater personal risk to the effects of COVID or come in contact with those individuals. If you're visiting family or friends in a congregate setting, just please take precautions at this point because COVID is spreading. We are seeing a leveling of hospitalizations relative to that right now, but we just want to remind folks of that.
Thank you, Mr. Dowdell. Members of the media, we're going to open it up right now, again, for questions regarding public health or any other topics. Please raise your hands. Any more questions? No more questions this morning, still morning. Well, going once, going twice. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Stay safe, and we'll see you again next time. Have a great afternoon.
Goodbye. Thank you.